Hey guys, it's Maria Park and welcome to Approach to Nerd. And we are talking Motherland, Fort Salem, Season 2, Episode 2, called Abomination. And this episode, like last episode, had a lot going on. We have a lot of little stories happening simultaneously. I was very invested in this episode, and overall, I think this was a very good episode. We also got to see Gregorio and M. So basically, in this episode, Abby and Rael cannot recreate the witch bomb. They're doing all this lab rad testing in the lab with Isadora, and they're not able, no matter what she throws at them and implied tortures them with, they are not able to recreate this witch bomb. So they're frustrated. Alder is frustrated because the Hague is coming, or basically the council of people that she, speaks to, their version of the United Nations. And she needs to have something to present to them on how they're going to take care of the Chimera problem. Which is so reminiscent of the same thing that happened in season 1 when she had to talk to them about how they were going to take care of the seed problem, or the spree problem. So I just thought that was really interesting. Simultaneously, Cilla, who made it very clear to Alder, even in last season, she had no intention of staying in Fort Salem. They are pacifists. They don't want to be near war. She wants to get her brother Adil as far away from Fort Salem as possible. And she is talking to other members of the Hague on where they're going to settle, even planning on going on like a world tour to figure out a new place for the team to relocate, the remaining members. So Adil has this obligation to go with his people and his sister, but also he's in love with Abigail and doesn't want to leave her. So he's kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place, basically. And, in the conclusion of this episode, Cilla does say that Adil is going to stay, but temporarily. And she literally tells Abigail, I'm grateful for you, but don't misunderstand. I don't want you to be hurt, but Adil will always choose his people just like you will always choose yours. Now, I already know they're going to break him up because that's what happens in Motherland, Fort Salem. And for all of you who have watched my season 1 reviews, you know that I am a huge Rael and Abigail shipper. I'm not going to deny it. I've been saying it since literally since I saw them in the pilot and it aired last year. Or last season. So every moment that they have of Abigail and Rael, I squee. And there are a few moments here, and there's a big moment where, so they have to do this test. They're going to this class, this non-canon class. And before I jump into this, tell me if this does not give you like Harry Potter / Owl House type vibes. They have their new coven is called Sekhmet. And they, all stay together in kind of like their house room where they have some classes together, but they all just go into their different, specialties. It's so reminiscent of like Harry Potter and what happens in the Owl House. So I really like that they went that route because it gave me the Harry Potter Owl House, vibes and feels in this. And so I'm here for it. And we'll talk about the upgrade and Tally in a minute. And then also what happened with Rael. But so they were trying to figure out, basically Isadora has a theory that Rael and Abigail basically may not be the witch bomb they think they are. They think it's actually Rael because they know that she touched it last season. She touched, our magical mesothelium, the magical mushroom. And so her theory now is it's actually Rael, and Rael needs the right motivation. And her right motivation was to kidnap her and Abigail and try and kill Abigail in front of her. And she freaks out, and the mushroom saves her. Like Abigail's like looks like they're gassing her, and she falls out. And then, they're not doing this to Rael. Rael is so in her feelings and so wanting to kill Isadora that, she's grabbing her heart. And then this disgusting, it's gross, guys. It's disgusting. It looked like some kind of embryonic snail fluid just encased Rael's body. And that's how Isadora was like, yeah, it's Rael. It's not, her and Abigail. It is Rael. Though I do think that Abigail does get an upgrade from touching her because of what we see later on with her controlling the storms and stuff. And there was always something special about these three anyway. But Abigail is definitely disappointed that she's not a part of the witch bomb, basically, and it's pretty sad. The look on her face is so dejected, and then Cilla dropping that bomb that Adil can stay temporarily, but she plans on taking him away. She's just not having a good day. All right. So I said a lot of things were happening in this episode. So Gregorio, we meet Gregorio. He basically was the witch who, there was a scene last season where Abigail says she had this big debut in Atlantic High Society and that Libba started making out with the guy who was her, I think it's called Cavlia. Just think of him as an escort. It was a sign by the stars that he was going to escort Abigail on her debut, but Libba, quote unquote, stole him. Well, this is the same guy, Gregorio. He's extremely cool. He's very quick to make Tally uncomfortable, which is very, very funny. And we come to find out that Gregorio at the time was actually with Libba, and that's why him and Libba were making out, not because Libba was trying to steal him. Nobody knew that they were dating. And I thought that was interesting because I loved the friendship between Abigail and Libba right before Libba died. And I was so upset when they killed Libba. I was so upset. She was a very good character. So lots of potential there. I see your comments, guys, and I will get to it in just a second. Just make sure I get the review part out and then we will talk about it. But yeah, so we met Gregorio. He seems like he's going to be a firecracker. And then we meet M. M is non-binary and she is the leader of their coven. And she and Rael have already rubbed each other the wrong way, but it kind of seems like M's kind of checking Rael out a little bit too. Just like when she's being sarcastic about, you guys have your classes to get ready for them. If you can stop, messing with your cool hair. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like she's checking Rael out a little bit. So I'm it's a thing. But again, my heart is still with Endgame. It's not going to be this season, but I think Endgame should definitely be Rael and Abigail. All right. So I told you a lot of stuff happening. So let's keep moving along. So I'll get to Alder in a minute. We'll get to Tally and her upgraded powers in a second. Let's talk about Cilla. They finally did something that I wanted them to do, and I've been asking them to do since last freaking season, and that is have Cilla show a little bit of remorse for what she did when she literally killed 1,500 people, or caused 1,500 people, besides Porter, to literally leap one by one to their deaths, including the sweet little girl that she was staring at right before she mumbled the words that made that happen, and with the balloon. So when she first walks in, it's like a Memorial Day, kind of like what, as a military brat, a Vietnam vet's daughter, they have like a bunch of like get-togethers and they have like these conversations about who they lost in the war and the survivors talk. It was basically a memorial type rally against the spree plus memorial for all the people that fell on the day that Cilla killed people or killed everybody, basically. And so Cilla's walking in and she's like, at first it looked like she was having an anxiety attack, but she had this look like, I did this. And she's looking around at all of the families and, children and parents that have lost loved ones because of her. And I loved that they did that because right after that, they introduced Anacostia, who's pretending to be the daughter of parents who were killed by Cilla, which is not true. But it was perfect. The way she talked, the remorse, everything, like the sadness that Anacostia was portraying through this character she made up named Amelia was epic. I love the braids, and I love that she closed that speech with, and it makes you wonder what the witch who did this is thinking. Does she show remorse? Is she remorseful? Is she even, does she even have humanity left in her? And she's looking dead at Cilla, and I was like, oh, I'm going to tell you guys, you talk about chemistry in this show. I don't want to do it, but I will ship Cilla and Anacostia. I'm going to be real with you because I love these two together. BFFs, lovers, whatever. I think Anacostia and Cilla could be very cool together. So people are going to come for me for that, but I'm just throwing it out there that I can see it. I could absolutely see Cilla-costia. I think that I came up with that like right now. It may be a thing. I don't know, but I like it. But, the whole episode, they talk about basically working together. Not just like Anacostia doesn't want to join the spree, but she wants to figure out what's going on because she's seen too much. And plus everything with the Camarera, she's like, I need to figure all this out. I know you want to figure all this out. I want in. So she wants to create this like uneasy alliance with Cilla. And for the most part, I think Cilla is going to go along with it because they meet this couple, or at least so technically Cilla meets this couple, and Cilla is like pretending to be another person. I think her name is Justine or Joanne or something like that. Let me think. I think I put it in my notes, but she's pretending to be another girl, and she's pretending it's Justine, and she's pretending to be like kind of like a victim of, unfortunately, the spree, which is hilarious. And the people that she meets are named Shane and Bonnie, which would have been cool if it was Bonnie and Clyde. And Shane is shady. Like, you see Shade talking to some guy and taking some money. Bonnie seems very lonely and very excited to have female friends, especially when she starts, drinking with Anacostia, or who she thinks is Amelia and Justine. So Anacostia and Cilla. When she's talking and she's like, it's great to have, these girls are hanging out with the girls. And Shane's like, you never complained before. And the look on her face was actually really like terror. So I think Shane is abusive to her. And I think that's something that they're going to find out later. But Shane is not a good guy. He puts on this act of being a good guy, but he is not a good guy. He is shady AF. So I'm very curious to see where this storyline goes, because these are not witches. These are regular, human civilians. And I think that this is going to be another, Cilla redemption arc if she helps Bonnie get away from Shane, which may happen. This may be something that happens. There's a reason that they're there. Yes, Cilla told Willow that she's using them because they always know when the next rally is. They always have the insight on what's going on, so she can just get close to them and be in the know. But I think that she's going to get really close to Bonnie as a friend and then realize what Shane is doing. And that's going to cause some stuff. So I think that's going to be cool. So some more cool things that happen in this is Willow talking about why she's so angry at the army. So we come to find out they're angry that she married a regular civilian. She married Rael's dad. And as punishment, they kept stationing her and sending her out, in the field and out to war. And she would only get to go home for like maybe 5 days, 18 days at a time. So her daughter was literally growing up without her as punishment for marrying outside of her race, I guess, which is kind of messed up, So that is why Willa is the way she is. Now, I'm not justifying terrorism, but that's why she's angry at the army. And then, when Cilla says, well, why didn't you reach out to her now? And she's like, well, what would I say? Because she'd been gone so long, and the reason that she wanted to keep her daughter out of the army, but then when the Camarera came, she thought the army was a safer place for her daughter, and she just couldn't reach out to her. So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of trauma and drama in this season. So we finally understand why something that motivates Willa is the fact that the army kept her away from her family. Now, whether she still talks to the husband, I'm curious, like, does he know she's alive? Because it makes it seem like he doesn't. And what is they're talking about, why didn't you reach out to her? Why didn't you reach out to your husband? So this is going to be a mess. So yeah, I think that's going to be a problem. So yeah, some highlights before I get into more is I love that they're taking mother tongue class, which basically is the first language apparently. And there's work that can only be done in mother tongue, and that they had a Dill sit in because he basically has been speaking mother tongue since birth. And I love the fact that when they were questioning why, he like gets in this like Voldemort voice, the teacher, and challenges basically Tally to a duel. But he says, think about this. You probably don't think that this is important, but ask yourself this question. How does a Dill speak perfect English when he's never studied it? And everyone's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's a good way of making a point. All right. So back to the work. So we all know that Tally is a powerful, powerful knower. And this has a lot of little Tally moments. I'm going to split this up to her Alder stuff and then her class stuff. So she was able to show off in class because they go to this off-canon work class, which we learn is the main work of the spree. You're not learning off-canon magic or whatever work, but you are learning how to deflect it, how to defend against it. And it's like the power of sound, and it's very powerful and is very creepy because like literally she blew a whistle and she was making these sounds and ringing things. And like they put these like hoods over their heads and all of them marched out into like this room. But it looked like multiple rooms connected, but actually they were in one room the entire time. And Tally was able to see sound, which is really cool. But she was the only one that could. And I kept thinking to myself, they had a knower in there, but I mean, they probably had a necro, they have a fixer. You have all of these, you have a blaster. How would they be able to see what Tally saw to figure out what was the source of that thing? I always felt like that was probably more of a knowers, class or a knowers, test than everybody, because everybody brings something unique in this world with their work. So I just wonder why, like, how were the rest of them going to see that? Tally seems like she would have been the only one in a position to even have a chance to solve this equation, I guess. But, and she does. And so she is going through all these different rooms, and these kind of things are everywhere in the first room. There's clocks and all kinds of sounds. And then they go into another room and there's all these creepy dolls all in white, and nobody wants to walk into a room full of dolls. That's just gross. And the dolls start attacking them, and they're beating the crap out of these dolls. And then Tally finally sees on the wall, after Raelle and basically Abigail are taken, which we know now because Isadora is about to experiment with Raelle by torturing Abigail in front of her. But she, she's able to see this lantern, and she sees the light. She literally follows the trail of light. So to me, I need to know why Raelle has upgrade. I mean, she's always been good, but she seems to be getting better. And so I need to know more about her family lineage, because she didn't touch, the magical mama, mushroom. So, and she didn't touch Raelle. So how did she get this upgrade, unless this is something natural? And then what is her family line? I just really want to know why she's so powerful, because Tally is very powerful, which would have made her a waste, as I said in episode 1 of this season, as a biddy. Why would you hold that back? But then again, if you're able to use your biddies, work, then maybe Alder wanted to keep that. I mean, it could have gone either way. So yeah, I'm very impressed with that. And then on the flip side, she keeps having these dreams. So we do see that there is a mysterious woman who I initially thought was Isadora, but now I look at her, she actually looks a lot more native to me. We have no idea who this woman is, but I think she may be who started the Camarera, because she was using off-canon magic. And Alder said that was really cool what you did with the bottle. How'd you do that? And she's like, I came up with it. And she's like, that's off canon magic. So, well, maybe it can become canon someday. And then Alder was talking about mentoring her. And this is who Tally saw in the dream. And then in the episode, which is, I'll just briefly talk about it. We see Penelope. She's having problems adjusting. She's having problems with her dad, dealing with her being a witch, and she's crying. So, of course, Tally goes to Alder and has another moment where they're looking at each other in a very shipping way. I see why people are shipping them, because they have a level of sexuality between them, the way they stare at each other. This show is just LGBT dream, and my little queer heart can't take this. But anyway, she asks if she can mentor Penelope. So she's given Penelope the tour after Alder, of course, says it's okay. Later on in the episode, they're looking at all the museum, all the pictures and the museum and the history behind Alder and everything that is Alder and Fort Salem. And they find this picture, and Tally immediately sees in the picture that someone's put some work on it, because she can see an outline of a figure. And when she says, Penelope, can you see this person right here? And Penelope is like, no. And then she looks, and it turns out it's the lady from her dream. And so now I'm thinking that is definitely the person who either started the spree or the Camarera, and that's why she got erased for non-canon magic. And maybe that's how they know off-canon work, because of this lady that they banned. So I really need to know what happened to her, because there's a reason that she's being erased. It's kind of like what you see in history books of our country, our US and other countries, when they don't want you to know something, they just take it out. I mean, that's literally what happened to here. So I really am curious on what the heck happened that caused her, this person to be completely erased, especially when in the actual dream, her and Alder seemed to be very close. So, and getting closer. And I don't know, that could have been sexual too. I don't know. But yeah, so like I said, there's a lot going on in this episode. And so I was there's not one moment of this episode that I was bored. Every moment of this episode, if you blinked, you missed something. And that's one thing I've always loved about this show, is that there's so many things going on simultaneously, but yet they all seem to come back around and come together and make sense in the end, just like season 1. Season 1's season finale was amazing. One of the best ones I've ever seen. So I am really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out, because it's getting darker, and I didn't think it could get darker. And I'm waiting for the president and Alder to be in the same room, because again, she basically mimicked or had the president basically not be able to say what she really wanted to say, and use some work to basically project what she wanted through her Martian Manhunter style. So I need to know if there are any repercussions on that, because technically Alder got away with that, and I don't know how she got away with it. I don't know how she's still in charge, because wouldn't the president be like, that's not the speech I wrote. That is not my intent. Those weren't my intentions. I don't know what the heck happened. That wasn't me. So we need to figure out what happened. Alder did it, So yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited. I also think it's interesting that the Hague have no idea what to do with this witch plague. They are all freaking out. They didn't even understand what the camera was doing. Like, Alder had to tell them that they were using the vocal cords that they stole from witches to use through their tech to imitate their work. And they're like, it's an abomination. And I'm like, how come you don't know? Why are you not in the know? I'm like, I don't understand that at all. It's crazy. And little Kalita, though, guys, that girl is not a child. That girl is like 100 years old. I don't care what anybody says. She's a lot older than she is pretending to be. And I don't know. I think that is very interesting. But yeah, that is my mini review in a nutshell. So let's get on to the questions, because I know you guys have some. So let me go up to the top. This episode was amazing. Yes, it was. It absolutely was. The dream memory of the witch holding the glass and dropping it. The magic was in the first season when the army witches were attacking a spree complex in Russia. Those witches became violent. That's true. Well, like I said, I mean, they have to know non-canon, magic, because how else would they know to teach how to defend against it? Like the teacher. So I'm sure that there's a lot of off-canon witches that were trained, but maybe it's just forbidden now. I mean, I need to know all of this. I need to know the backstory. We need to have, even though I don't want to take away from our main cast, I want to have a few episodes that shows the past, why all this stuff went down, why the camera was formed. I mean, I'm still of the opinion that Alder kind of helped in forming that group. And if this is the girl that she was working with or was helping, then maybe it started off as something good and then ended up as something, completely, crazy and evil. But then you got to think to yourself, this girl also technically was a witch. So why would she form a group of witch hunters? But I can't say she knows that that's not her MO, because how many times have you saw a movie or a comic book where the villain's hunting people just like them? So, I mean, it's not hard to suspend your disbelief. I also could see her being the original founder of the spree, because they specifically said the spree used non-canon magic or non-canon work. So she could be the original founder. So like I said, there is a lot. This episode was magnificent. I agree. Isadora had me scared for a second. I thought she was going to kill my girl. I mean, she wasn't killing Raelle. She was killing Abigail, and Raelle was freaking the hell out. And I love when they were like literally sitting at the table, and you see Raelle is so depressed and disappointed that she wasn't, part of the, witch bomb. But Raelle was like, the only thing I felt was I wanted to murder Isadora. But she was freaking out when she was killing Abigail. And I was like, they've come so far. But yeah, I straight up shipped them. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm starting to like the army more and more. The thrill of it seems so freaking amazing. I love War College. War College is no joke. That's just the first thing we saw. So I am so I'm ready to see other male witches. I don't want Gregorio to be the only male witch. So I need to see more male witches. I want to see more of their history. I need to see more of these on crack classes. And remember, they're going to be going to their own specializations. So, Tally's going to be in a class with other knowers, and, Abigail will be with other blasters, and then we'll have, Raelle will be with other fixers. I don't know who we're going to have doing Necro, because we don't have Cilla right now. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll see something. And I mean, we're seeing it through Isadora, but I don't know how we'll see more of what goes on in their class, but they've always been kind of elusive and, off to their own anyway. So I don't know. It's a thing. For a second, I thought that too until I realized she seemed more intrigued with them, Miss Salem, and how Rael used it as a temporary golem while she was stressed by speaking through. That is something I forgot. Thank you, Nicholas. That freaked me out. So yes, so apparently they sent people out to the Tarim region and they brought back one of the Camarera's heads that I think still had the glasses on. It was very creepy. And this thing is like mushroomed and mummified and mushrooms and fungus. It was gross. One thing I have to say, guys, I have a squirmy stomach. So that, seeing that head and them cutting it open and then seeing Rael project that mucus thing that looked like the slime from, Teenage Tattooed Alien Fighters is just freaking gross to me. But so Rael was talking to M. M was saying, I hope we're not going to have any more secrets, blah, 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 blah. And then everything that Rael said, the literal mushroomed head that Isadora was about to cut open and study was saying. So they are connected. Just like when Alder walked up to Mama Mausoleum, she's like, I've always been humbled by her. And I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like, I've been humbled by the mushroom. I'm like, I like shiitake too, but come on. And I'm like, I need to know the story behind this mushroom, guys. Seems like Alder and many other witches in America from the ancient days barely know witch work as in seeds, which is most likely why Alder ventured to find more witches and attain more powerful seeds. I agree. I feel like they only know what Alder taught them because Alder was the one that one of the main ones that survived after they murdered her sister. She's the one that started the whole process of the army and basically selling witches into servitude. So yeah, that's why she doesn't want the Tarim to leave, because Kalita's seeds are ancient and she would love to tap into that. So yeah, that's a good point. There are more male witches in these scenes, but they did not have speaking parts. Yeah, I saw them in the background. You saw like the extras, I guess I'm calling them, because they don't have speaking parts, but I'm hoping that we do. Because like right now, Adil was hanging out with Gregorio. They had lunch together, which is cute. And of course, Adil was a little jealous of Gregorio, being with Abigail in the past. And she's like, no. But I know, I really feel like we need to have more presence, because we got some presence last season. But again, it was just so they could have sex and give them weapons. That's literally what it was. And I don't know if we'll ever see them. I mean, I'm hoping we see the Witch Father again. But again, I don't know. I don't know what happened to any of these guys. Did they graduate? Are they going to be coming to War College? I have no idea. I don't have no idea what the selection process of that is. And I think Garrett should be coming back, but I have no idea. I mean, why not? They are all in War College, I guess. It's so strange. It's just really strange. But I'm hoping we get some insight on this because, Gregorio seems to be a much cooler character. I mean, yes, he played Gil Bopsy and Nancy Drew, and he wasn't a bad character, but I think I'm going to like him a lot better in this one. So I'm excited. So is Tally directing Alder's memories to discover that Alder and the spree are connected, or is a memory directing them both? That is a very good question, because they are eternally connected. So I know the showrunner, Elliot, did say in an interview before the season started that, she would be seeing a lot of Alder's, memories, and then she's going to have to deal with the consequences. And I don't know what that means, deal with the consequences. But, the way they look at each other, I saw it in the last episode, but, it's like, because I'm queer, you don't want to make every character queer in the show, but it's hard not to, because they act queer. So I'm like, that they had some sexual tension in the last episode, and even in this one, like Tally was looking at Alder like she was peanut butter and jelly. So I'm just like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going to happen there. I really don't. At the very least, Tally is now Alder's PR rep. So pro Alder. I think the guys have separate basic training and then come together for War College. See, that's what I thought. I'm going to tell you something, Miss Makisha Simon, and you're going to love this. So before I legally changed my name to my middle name, your first name was my first name. And your last name is the name of my black lab. So we were destined to talk to each other. Just letting you know. Just throwing it out there. Little eggshell and crumb for you there. In first season, that Mausoleum was affected by that witch disease, but it's not showing up in this season. I feel like it cured it. Maybe it made like an antibody for it, or it built up an immunity to it. So, I mean, that could be a thing because you're right. It did get affected when they were healing Cilla. I think it went into the mushroom. But again, the mushroom is very resilient. It's a fungus. So maybe it found a way around that. I do know that for some reason now, and I mean, this could have been always the case, the Camarera are using the witch plague through like grenades, and that's very creepy. And it only affects witches. It does not affect civilians. So I would not be surprised if Shane and Bonnie technically were Camarera. That's probably what they're leading. Or maybe Bonnie doesn't know and Shane is Camarera. He's shady. He just gives me shady, I will F you up vibes. So I don't know. I still believe Alder and Petra are going to have a throwdown. I need it to have. I do too. I'm waiting for it too. She said, I mark you. And I need to know what does it mean to be marked? I still don't get it. Like, is it like a voodoo curse? I mean, what are they doing? What is she marking her with? Did she put a spell on her or a work on her where everything she does is a failure from now on? And if that's the case, why didn't you do that before? If she can just go ahead and marking people, it's really weird. I'm still shook at how they refer to Mother Muslim as her. It's too creepy. Can't wait to learn more about her. I know. I'm thinking, where are her parts? How do they know that it's a woman? But whatever. They know more about her than we do. I mean, this is Isadora's life work. Her life's work. So she's been studying this mushroom from what? Childhood? I don't know. It's just really weird. That's so cool. I'm destined to be watching your reviews. I'm telling you. I mean, I even spelled my name the exact same way. The only reason I changed my name is because people like to put an R and call me Markeisha. They used to drive me absolutely effing insane. So when I got married again, I just used my middle name. And now my middle name's Amelia. But yeah, first name was my legal name. And your last name is my little puppy's name. And his name is Simon. So I just thought that was very, very cool. I'm still on the belief that, like I said in the last chat stream, she most likely colonized vast areas of land to settle terrorists in the name of our nation, hunting, killing, stealing, and number of seeds for a plethora of unwilling tribes, colonies, and designated communities. And now through Taki, we are seeing the root of Alder's history, both the good, gray, and the bad. That's possible. Now, we do know that the natives were the ones that helped her stay young because they taught her how to basically create biddies. So have them take on her years. So that came from them. And, that's pretty much how, the Native Americans are First Nations, as they like to be called. At least my grandfather and his tribe all call themselves First Nations. How they did not suffer the same cultural genocide in our world in the Motherland for Salem world. So I think they were spared. But again, if you look at the season 2 trailer, which I did a reaction video to, the second trailer, you do see like, it looks like a First Nation or a native. And you see like the bow and arrow and the quill. And then it looks like he's on a horse. And that seems like something out of Alder's memory. And I don't know why we don't have a form or a shape. Now, to be fair, we could get one. This could have just been a frame they caught before, because they don't want to spoil everything. But I do see that we are going to have First Nations or natives probably in this season to explain Alder. And I think that is really cool. Yes, the session. I'm very excited. I am very, very excited for that because, we did know that. That's not something that we didn't know from last season, but it's knowing it and seeing it are two different things. So I really want to see, because apparently like she got hurt and she was dying, and that's how they bargained to save her life and extend her life for their freedom and to keep their lands, this patch of land. So I don't know. I am very, very intrigued by the entire thing. Cilla may very well be an ancient, which probably older and elder given the way she speaks to her, but I believe she's going to get killed or kidnapped. She's too rebellious for her own good. That's probably going to happen. She's either going to get killed or, as you said, kidnapped. And of course, Adil is going to have to have a rescue party go and save her. And then he's going to have to leave Abigail because he can't leave his little sister unprotected and alone. And he can't leave his people. And that's how him and Abigail are going to split, because I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's sad, but I see it. I see Adil leaving. Do I see Rael getting with Abigail this season? No. Do I see chemistry between them? Yes. They are connected. They have chemistry. And I'm telling you, I love the enemies to frenemies to BFFs to lovers tropes. And that's exactly what I'm seeing with these two. So it's how I feel. Nobody's going to change my mind. I've been shipping them since last season, since the damn show premiered. I'm like, I've been shipping this couple. So just get on the train because that's where I'm at right now. As for the lieutenant within the memory, she was most likely a former candidate to become a biddy who went rogue shortly after Alder didn't go fully into her interests or demands. And as we know, I could see that. Like I said, there could be a lot of reasons why this lady just like, because I mean, not only did she probably betray them, they're acting like she didn't exist. She's not even in the histories. You know, they worked her. If they worked her out of the photo, what else did they work her out of? That's what I want to know. General Sarah Alder, she mostly either killed her or just erased her existence and worked from the records because she most likely defected, and I'm willing to bet formed a certain terrorist group. Yeah, organization. I think she either. My money really is on the spree, but I can't rule out the Camarera either. But I think if she did form something, and it's just how they specifically mentioned that the spree used non-canon work, and this woman uses non-canon work, to think that she did start the spree. So, and that to me, because remember, the spree is all different cells. There are different cells now. So I don't know where this woman is, but I'm here for it. From what I got of the memory, she had power and a general knack for out of field work, and to have that Alder at the time was on a power binge, given the vibes that she was emanating, as well as the whole biddy squad. Yeah. I wonder if she can take powers, though. That's something I never, because can Alder steal other people's work? Like, is there a way to absorb it? I really want to know. Like, can she use her biddy stuff? I really want to know. I can't wait to see more of Penelope. She's very cool. She's very sweet. And I feel very bad for her because at least all of these girls grew up knowing they were witches and knew that they would have to, eventually join the army, and be conscribed. She had no idea. She had no idea. And all the stuff that they went through, when they were in training to get to war college, she's got to go through in basic. And I feel so bad. They're taking this girl who basically is a vice president's daughter, who was singing in the choir, and throwing her and basically in the boot camp or basic training. It's sad. Abby seemed saddened by the fact she was not part of the witch bomb. Yeah, she was. I love how Raelle noticed too, and she's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just tired." And like the looks Raelle gives her, I'm telling you, just go back and watch the last episode. Watch this episode. Watch when they were gassing Abigail and not her, and she was freaking the hell out. And she said, "I wanted to kill Isadora." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here for it, guys. My queer heart can't take it." Because it isn't balloons, a form of uncanon work. Maybe this could a step from her technological advances. Huh. Could be. I mean, like I said, the spree is very unconventional. They're able to change their faces. They're able to do all kinds of the balloons talk and communicate to them. When I saw Cilla talking to a balloon in a window, and she actually had that creepy redhead head girl like face and stuff, and she was like this, and she was like, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this girl? I'm like, she's talking to a freaking balloon. I'm like, it was absolutely hilarious. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Her father seems to have a low-key hatred for witches. He has a low-key hatred for Alder. I mean, he doesn't like Alder. He does not trust her, which is fair because we all know that she's lived for over 300 years and she's probably done a lot of shady things. So she is shady. She's done shady stuff even last season with the president. So like she's shady. She was the one. Alder approved them taking a risk of potentially killing Abigail to get Raelle to use or to react with Mama Mushroom. And what if Abigail had died? I mean, Petra just got her back. I really think Petra would have set Sarah on fire. I mean, I'm just letting you know. So, yeah. Elliot Lawrence did say that we will see how truly powerful General Alder's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sarah's very powerful. I just want to know if she's able to take other people's abilities. Like if she wanted Tally's abilities as a knower, could she just grab it? Could she utilize it? If they're bonded, can she see through Tally? I want to know how that works. Because remember, they when Tally was a biddy, they only let her see surface level stuff. The other biddies were blocking her from all the secrets. So It's a thing. Vice President Silva gives me the vibe that he already knew that his wife was a witch and hoped that the gene didn't pass down to the daughter, similar to how most parents find out. Yeah, like how he was looking in the first episode. Like when he saw her as a witch, he did not look freaked out or anything. He looked disappointed. So you're absolutely right. I think he did know. I believe he did know. They're good friends. Yes, Latin. If you're talking about Raelle and Abigail, yes, they are good friends. But again, I ship them. Don't take this from me. Kid is a mutant in Marvel. Vice President Silva gives me great and greet. Senator Kelly. He does remind me of Senator Kelly. That is very true. That is actually a good comparison right there, Nicholas. I feel really bad for Abigail considering literally most of her family has been killed. Yeah, I think that she really wanted to do it too because of Charvel, of her cousin being killed. I really, really believe that it's not just her. Like how Alder was like, well, another bellwether who basically is ambitious. And I don't think it's her ambition. I think that she finally figured out a way to get back at the people who killed her cousin. And now she's not a part of it. And that is, I think, her biggest disappointment. Yeah, it's great to be part of this big thing. This makes you important. But I really think the Abigail that we have now is a lot different from very beginning season 1. I think it's all about getting back at them for attacking the wedding and killing her cousin. And she's, right now, she's sidelined. But when we saw her with those storms, like we're in those tornadoes by herself, that's a good indicator that some good things are coming her way. So I don't think she's out of the game yet because, again, Bellwether unit is very powerful anyway. They were the best in their basic training, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be the best in War College. So just putting it out there. So wait, does this make Anacostia a grandma in this circumstance? Probably. I'm telling you, Anacostia was giving me life when she was on that stage pretending to be a victim of Cilla, basically. And she had tears coming down. She had the braids. She was my girl had braids. They were fire. She was like literally on that stage acting like a victim. And I mean, she was believable. She had people in the audience like reacting. And she was lying her butt off. But she looked at her and says, "Do you feel remorseful? I wonder if that witch feels remorseful. I wonder if she has any humanity left in her at all." And I'm like, oh, rubbing it in. Oh, it was awesome. Seems like Petra put too much pressure on Abigail to hold up the Bellwether legacy. Yeah, especially since she's the only child. That makes perfect sense. Great point. Now, I wonder if Alder gets the biddies' powers when they link. That's what I would really love to know how that works. I want to know the extent of it. Is it just them getting her memories? Because the biddies get her memories and they get her years, divide her years up. But do they also get parts of her power? And is she able to utilize theirs? I would really love to know. It would be interesting if she had a seer, which I think she did have a seer. The one that died, I think last season was a seer, a necro, a fixer, a blaster. Have someone from each house, basically, or each specialization as her biddy so she can pull from all of them. I don't know. I think that would be really cool. Abigail is going to show how powerful she is this season. Yeah, I saw it in the trailer, so I am looking forward to it. Honestly, I see her becoming a conflicted version of Poison Ivy or Persephone with this new ability, as when she is stressed or lulled into a trance, she can manipulate flora, fungal life. Maybe it ties in with her healing abilities with progress significantly enough to the degree that serious and even almost fatal wounds don't appear on her body anymore. I'm wondering if she can heal too. Well, I mean, she's a prodigy fixer, so maybe. I mean, I could see that. I could see that being a thing. I think Abby is going to get reckless now, trying to have some special ability of her own. She's going to find it, but it will probably hurt her. Well, she did pass out in the preview. So, yeah, I can see that, too. Hi, Chastian. How are you? I went back to watching season 1. It's good, right? And then, you have to watch season 1 and compare it to season 2. But season 2 is giving me life right now. Let's see. I think I already read this one. The actress playing Anacostia is very good. Yes, she is. Demetria is a very good actress. I mean, when they were the scene where they're like pretending to get drunk, and she was like, and then like the guy goes like Shane walks away, and she just sticks the glass down like, this is getting on my nerves. I was That woman needs an Oscar. I'm like, I love Anacostia. I really started to believe what Anacostia was saying. Yeah, she's good. She's also scary. Let's see. Okay, I think I already read that one. Victim like a bioweapon. I think that they are trying to make her into a bioweapon. Because I guess essentially that's what Raelle would be. But you're right. I think one of the closest characters that you can relate her to is Poison Ivy. So you're absolutely correct. Anacostia is totally taking the reluctant foster parent to Cilla with the tough love. She really said, I'm going to take this murderous witch under my wing and she will show remorse. She did. I mean, you're not wrong. That's exactly what happened. She's like, you gonna feel your humanity today. The biddies are badass. I really want to understand why they're hissing like just because they're not allowed to talk. They're only allowed to talk to Alder. They don't have anything to say to anybody else, and they don't like anybody else. Because if Alder doesn't like them, the biddies don't like them either. Heck, even Tally was hissing at Petra, and Petra was like, "Yeah, keep hissing, see what happens." She's like, "Well, I take these earrings I'm not wearing off. We gonna see who's hissing." Anacostia will get that regret out of Cilla one way or another. Yep, and it's already happening. Like I said, when Cilla first walked in to the stage of her murder scene, she looked like she was having a panic attack. And this is what I wanted. I wanted Cilla to feel bad for what she did. So many people, guys, last year when I was in my reviews and I was saying, I didn't want Raelle and Cilla to be together. Not just because I shipped Abigail and Raelle. That wasn't it. Because these two actresses are gorgeous. They're cute. And they do have chemistry. It is because Raelle is my sweet, rebellious, activist type character who doesn't want to hurt people, and she's in love with someone who had no problem killing 1,500 people and then her ex-boyfriend to shut him up. That is not a good match to me. And it's not, obviously it has nothing to do with them being in a lesbian relationship. I'm in the LGBT community. Like, that makes any freaking sense. It's the point of I needed her to show remorse. I needed her to feel bad because essentially, no matter how you look at it, she killed these people. She killed people. And when I do my charm reviews, people were all over me about Abigail. And I'm like, but you guys had no problem with Cilla. And I mean, Cilla killed 1,501 people. I'm like, innocent people. So yeah, I had to have this. I feel so happy that Cilla is showing remorse. And I feel like the more she's with Anacostia, the more redemption she's going to get. And that is what I'm excited about. So Cilla is not a bad character. She's just right now, she was a terrorist. That's what she was. And now we're starting to see the other side of her, which is actually showing regret for what she did. Because when you're doing these actions and you walk away, you can put it out of your mind. But when you have to face the people that you hurt because of it, the family members you left behind, all the loved ones that will never have their family members back because of you are the one person in that entire rally people are saying and crying over their loved ones because of, you are the person that caused all of this. So yeah, that's powerful stuff. So I love the fact that was put into this episode because I didn't think it was going to be, especially when I kept seeing all these interviews where like, it's a gray area. Murder is not a gray area to me. You either kill people or you don't. It's either self-defense or it's not. You're either a terrorist or you're not. There's no gray area to that. So I'm happy that we're seeing that. But I know I got so much hate over that, guys. I was talking, I speak my truth. I'm gonna speak my truth. I don't care. And so that I'm a very happy camper that Cilla is starting down the redemption arc, should put it that way. And Anacostia seems to be leading it with a torch, dragging her through redemption. So I'm completely okay with that. Anacostia could have been an actress in another life. She probably was. The girls are going to be separated, with Raelle constantly training with her new gifts, Abigail adventuring to find what makes her special, besides being a bellwether, and Tally connecting with Alder. They still have their calming classes, and I'm pretty sure that, like last season, even though they were training, they're going to go on missions, and they still dorm together, so you're going to see them in their bedrooms. But I do agree that we are going to see a lot of solo stuff. that they eat together, they sleep together, they probably poop together and shower together. So they're going to see each other still, and they'll have more to talk about with their separate, stuff. So, I mean, I'm still here for it. It's going to be cool. And like I said, this season is going to get a lot darker, and I am so excited because there's so much that can go wrong. I mean, we're going to have to eventually see the Camarera. We're going to have to see members of this group. Somebody's going to interact with them. Somebody has to be in danger because of them. We have to see this. And then we're going to see more of the spree cells too. Because right now we only see Cilla, which their names oddly rhyme. But we don't see other members because the leadership we learned in the first episode of this season, they're dead. Most of the leadership of the spree is gone. But what happens to all the different cell groups, all the factions? Where are they? I mean, where are the spree? There has not been one spree attack since the Camarera came. So yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused on that. Like what's happening? It's exciting. Rael will see Cilla again. Yeah, I saw in the preview that they're at a march. It's either march or a protest. And Alder's giving a speech for some reason, and they do glimpse each other for a second. So yeah. Find it weird that they care much about female witches, marrying male witches, because they say that the only consequences is that their glamour mark is less shiny because the power does not pass to males. Huh. That's true, because all the matriarch line has all the power, I guess. Like I said, I'm still learning this world. It's fascinating. And I love this. Again, I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. I'm a big fan of shows like the Owl House, which has its own houses and magical sources and all that stuff, and the Boiling Isle. So like, this is just another world that I love exploring and hoping that I can kind of grasp the rules of, because right now I'm still kind of a newbie, even though I started doing this when it premiered. I literally, from day one, I've reviewed this show. I got fascinated when I saw a trailer of it, like maybe 4 months or 6 months before they aired the first episode, and I did a review on it. And I thought I was going to check the show out. And even then I was like, why is the map split? Because I didn't know the story of why, Alder and how they divided the countries and stuff. So now I'm just kind of going through it thinking, because I'm, how Charmed has its own, set of rules, or at least it did. The reboot kind of redid a lot of that, but has its own set, power sets and different hierarchies and all that. So this whole show fascinates me because it's the first one I've seen where gender is reversed. Like, it seems like the women are more powerful than the men. And why is that? And like, it's just so much about this lore. I can't wait to explore. And last season they made it seem like the men they had 2 jobs, but now we're seeing that the men are actually a lot cooler than we think. So I need to know, what do they do? What do the men do? I mean, obviously they do something. Even in the Hague, there are male members. So, I mean, I don't know. It's all interesting to me, guys. Maria, please review Benedict Society. It's so good, like a mix of Loki and series of unfortunate events. If I have time. I'm like, what is that on? I don't think I've heard of that. Abby is going to get Adil to teach her some seeds to get stronger because of how she feels. That would be cool. And he can do it too, because we saw how powerful Adil was last season. If Adil was a soldier, they would be in trouble. They would be in trouble. Elliot Lawrence did say there will be books coming out. Oh, really? Ooh, I will be getting those, especially if they're on Kindle. I'm generally concerned. Do you think Rael can reverse the healing process and reopen up and accelerate their wounds and prior damage to the victim and transfigure the infected victims into plant hybrids? I don't know, but all I know is, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. As much as I love this show, I gotta give like the makeup and creative department an Emmy of my own, because they gross me out weekly with this mushroom. Like, it's so realistic and it just makes my skin crawl. Like, whenever it's just gross. It's just really gross to me. But I have that type of a reaction with things like that: funguses, bumps, lumps, slimy things. It's just gross. But yet I watch zombie movies, like, and horror movies. Go figure. Also, Carolyn says Luke and Mary are meant to be. It'll just be a slow burn. That is good to know. Y'all give them thumbs up. Please give them thumbs up so people know that we're here, because the algorithm doesn't care. Hi, Ray. It's the same in America. Horror story, The Witches. Yeah. After the first episode, I searched for the books and was surprised to find the books had yet to be written. Because I think, didn't Elliot create this entire concept? I didn't think he had a chance to write books. I think it was, he wanted to write this as a book series, and I think he went for a TV show. So if he's going to do like side novels, I'm here for that. I'm completely okay with that. Maria, do you think I can go to War College because I want to learn the mother tongue? Like, where do I sign up? I don't know. Let me know. Bennett Society is good on Disney Plus. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'll put it in my queue. Madness, you give me a lot of good recommendations, and I just need to have time to do them. That's the problem. It's time. It's time. When you do reviews and you have to keep the schedule, it's so hard. It's so hard. But I'm trying, guys. I really am. Raelle is definitely in the hot seat now. Yes, she is. I feel bad too because Raelle is like, I'm the one that didn't want to be a lab rat, and I'm the one that gotta keep torturing him. Now, how do you feel about Ryan? It's fair, but isn't it too soon? I feel like she just needs more experience. By season 6 or 7, hypothetically, she acts the same way. I feel like then disliking her would make sense. See, I don't want to talk about Batwoman in this stream. I did talk about that in the other stream, and I may do an updated video on that, guys, because I need people to understand my frustration with Ryan. Because my frustration with Ryan is not with Ryan. It is the writing for Ryan. It is literally what they have done to this character, and what makes her powerful as a minority, as a strong Black woman should be her being a strong Black woman. It should not be stepping in the life of another woman to be powerful. I need you guys to understand what I mean by this. So I guess I'll need to clarify that in another video. So that'll be another conversation. So I'm not going to talk about that in this one. The male witches are the Army Corps of Engineers. Yeah, I do know that. And I know they're very good at making weapons. And I think that is amazing. But is that all that they are? Is that all Gregorio can be? Like in which college? Is that he can't go into battle? He can't go out in the field and fight? That's very interesting. The shroom be alive. Yep. Every time I open my fridge and look at our shiitake mushrooms now, I just cringe. I'm like, oh. No, like no. It's a thing, guys. It's a thing. But yeah, I really am really interested to see where this goes. And like, there's so many different avenues, and like, I want to see, is it possible that we will get a scene where the Spree and the army are out on missions together? I mean, that to me, I'm just saying that's gonna be amazing. Do male witches do anything besides make weapons and be concubines? I knew somebody was going to say it. It feels that way. I feel like they're baby makers and weapon makers. They make babies and weapons. That's what they do in this world. I don't know. This is like, whenever they talk about anti-feminism and today and agendas, I'm like, I'm thinking what's happening with that is really happening in Motherland, Fort Salem. For some reason, they're making some points here. Yeah. That's fair. I just mean that she has time to go into her own person. But fair. Yeah. Like I said, I need to clarify what that statement means, because again, it's a whole other thing. And I also don't like what they did with Kate, but that's a whole other question. That's a whole other discussion. I will have to try and get some time to, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and get some time to do a stream specifically about that. I guess that's what's going to have to happen. Can we get into Will questioning Cilla on both her and Anacastia's intentions? Because from that one scene, I see her gears already turning by making them either potential associates or making them lambs to the slaughter. I want to know how devious and the lengths that Willa is actually willing to go, because we know that she approved mass murder. I mean, she's free, so she has no problem killing innocent people. So I want to know what happens with that whole situation, because at the end of the day, Willa hates the army, but her daughter's a soldier. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much more we don't know about Raelle's parents. And I'm so interested on the dad's perspective. I want to know how Willa met her husband now, because the fact that they got married caused all of her stuff, because she didn't want to divorce her husband, and he wasn't a witch, he wasn't from a high influential family. She married below her basically. And she got penalized for it. She had to pay for it. And I love that this show is so relatable to real life because, guys, as a product of an interracial marriage, I feel that in my soul. So I get Willa and on the sense of not being able to watch your daughter grow up, not being able to be with your family, being punished for it by being sent constantly into the threat of death as punishment for who you chose to love. I also feel that on the LGBT level. So it's a thing. It is a thing. It is absolutely a thing. And I don't know, guys. They're describing the season's last episode as Revolution. Wow. So now, I think the stuff's going to hit the fan when Abigail, one of the most loyal people, she's even loyal right now to being a soldier, even after all the shady stuff that happens, because it's ingrained in her. When she starts to see that the army is no good, if she starts to see that, then we know that something's going down. So Revolution, if that's Abigail saying, you know what, guys, we need to be up and out and form our own group, then we know. Now, will that happen? I don't know, but I will tell you, I am here for it. I am here for everything that they do in this show because I don't think I've ever reviewed a bad episode of Motherland for Salem. I think every episode I had last, and you know me, guys, if you follow my other reviews, I'm very nitpicky. But like every episode of Motherland Fort Salem has been entertaining, has kept me at the edge of my seat, made me have to come up with theories I didn't want to come up with because I didn't understand the world completely, had me rooting for characters, had me sad over characters, had me in my feelings over characters. That season finale, when I saw like Rael get stabbed, I was like, what? I'm like, I can't handle this. And then Tally was turned into a biddy. And like, we didn't know if Abigail and Rael were dead until the last few seconds of the freaking up. I was in my feelings. And this is what this show does to me. It is so unlike any of those shows that I actually review. And it's refreshing because there's always something going on and you have to pay attention because I already know I miss stuff. There's always something in this episode that if you blink, you will miss it. And because I don't do reaction videos, because quite frankly, the reason I don't sit and watch this episode is number one, I don't know how entertaining you would be by me just watching a show and reacting to it. And number two, I don't feel like dealing with copyright claims all day. So I don't know how other people do this and get away with it. I know they get copyright claims, but I don't feel like fighting them all the time, but I don't have that kind of time. So I'd rather just do an in-depth review and give opinions on what I watched. And I kind of feel like this show gives you a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about, a lot of theories. And then what I do miss, you guys make up for in the comments. And so I'm completely okay with that. It is amazing. Let's see. Double homicide. The revolution is coming. Yep. Glad Motherland is on Freeform and not CW. Yes. Oh my gosh. I was thinking that because we were talking about Rael being Poison Ivy. I'm like, oh, they had a Poison Ivy reference in Batwoman, and we kind of made fun of Josefina and Charmed as being, Poison Ivy. I'm like, this would have been tied right into CW, except it's not. And I'm like, and I'm okay with that. Freeform normally does good shows. I've had some problems with the Bold Type, but outside of that show, I mean, Good Trouble hasn't been that bad. I pretty much enjoyed that. There's been a lot of shows on Freeform that haven't been, that bad. And this one is one of the best ones, in my opinion. So might be biased because I like the genre, but I like it. So Alder has some nerve, though, because she had to know that Willow was getting constantly deployed, but is going to use her daughter as some lab rat. I mean, she was willing to kill Abigail, like literally just got cursed by Petra and then still put her daughter in danger again. Because they literally said, Alder said, I approve this test and it would have been worth the risk. That told me there was a possibility that Abigail was going to die. That is effed up. That is effed up. So Alder has issues, guys. Also, the writing of the show is consistent and things carry on from the last season and matter. Yep, they do. They absolutely do. And like we actually we get delayed reactions on some things, but they're really like the whole thing with Cilla's remorse. I'm here for it. And I love that it's Anacostia that is dragging it out of her. I mean, the perfect person. So what did you think of M what do you think is M is a necrome? Because they give me that vibe. She was ready to go at Rail and calm a few situations to the point of teasing her. I like M. I think that may be M's off way of flirting. M is very cool. I like M a lot. She has no filter, or they have no filter. They seem very in tune with their surroundings and what's going on. Very inquisitive, but also, kind of stands off to the side. Just, they're one of those characters that just watches what everybody else is doing and formulates a plan. Now, is it Bridley or Birdie? Bridley? What was the name of the bodyguard that Abigail had for one episode? I think that was probably my only gripe. We saw her, then we saw her again in the finale because she was flying the helicopter and fighting. But she was literally assigned to protect Abigail, and then all of a sudden we didn't need her anymore. I always wondered what that character's name was. I want to say her name was Bridie or something like that. Briley. I love her character. I want her to come back as a teacher or in some capacity because she was a badass. So I need her. Is it Pride? I didn't thought her name was Pride. I thought her name started with a B. That's gonna bother me now. I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, I really like that character. It will be the same writers and creators that CW just airs. If I don't like it, they have the control over the writing. Yeah, they'll edit the script. That's what will happen. I'm gonna crack up when a Mel Witch tells her that he's at her service. Yeah, me and you both. It's being the same writers as a problem because I feel like the quality of writing is so much better on Motherland. It is absolutely. I don't know. I mean, Elliot writes his own scripts, so I guess his writer room is basically he oversees his co-writers. I'm here for it. I am here for it. 1 second. Let's see. No, I'm saying the Motherland would have the same writers they do now, even if on the CW. No, they would have the same writers. They just would have producers and showrunners, and they would have the CW saying, no, you can't do that. And that's what would happen. Sueza 1 to Ukraine. I still believe Alder is going to be punished for her puppeting the president and her reckless ways. I mean, the president has been in the trailers. There has to be some kind of, repercussions for that. I really highly doubt that she's going to get away with that. I really don't think she is. Well, it looks like Penelope got a new mama in Tally since Duro dad isn't doing his job. And Alder says, I'm no longer tied to you, Tally. So find someone else. And these two found each other. Yeah, I can see it. Birdie. Thank you, Legend. Yes, Birdie. That is, I love. Okay, we're going to call her Lady B. I love her. They need to bring her back. Did you see my comment about Luke and Mary, Maria? I did. I just don't want to talk about the other shows right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I saw that you said that about them having a slow burn. That just keep that comment. I posted on my Batwoman, because I do read the comments, guys. So post that on my Batwoman review, and we can talk about it. But I mean, it's something I already knew that was coming, so it's not like it was a shock to me. Her name was Bridie, so it's either Birdie or Bridie. Okay, Nicholas. So Lady B, Lady B. Every time I hear a character named Abby in any of the show, I always think you stole Abby's name from Charm. like no one else has her name in the whole world. I get it. I understand. But no, our Abigail is the Charmed Universe Abigail, and our Abigail, and here's the Motherland Fort Salem. And honestly, I love both Abigails very much. So Abigail seems to have a very good track record with me on these shows so far. So I like the name Abby. It's a thing. All right, guys, we are over an hour. I know it's late, especially since it is, for most of us, if you're in the States, it's a Monday evening, which means, or Tuesday evening, because we were going to have our Arrowverse Tuesday, which we're having Arrowverse Wednesday tomorrow. But disclaimer, guys, because I've been very transparent with my whole health issues. I have a lot of them. So I still have 2 more appointments tomorrow. I have one in the morning and I have one in the afternoon. So I will not be done until about 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon, which means our Arrowverse will have to be, or Arrowverse Wednesday, instead of being midday, will have to be pushed to 5 or 6 tomorrow. So But we are doing it. We're doing the Flash, and we're talking Legends of Tomorrow because we love Legends, and I'm going to talk about the Flash. So we will do that stream on tomorrow. So be on the lookout. And I am going to have to make a video for the Republic of Sarah because I have not had time to watch it due to my yesterday appointments. So I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. It is a thing. So we are going to talk about all of the things, and I'm sure that, and yes, I did see there were some very comical moments on the Flash. So we are going to talk about all of those things on tomorrow. So I will set up the stream. I'm going to shut up in the morning. I want to make sure I'm home in time. So I don't want to promise to be here at 5 and then have to move it to 6. So be on the lookout tomorrow afternoon. I'm on Central Standard Time. If you guys are in an area where it is nighttime, have a very good night. If you're in an area where you're just waking up, then have a very good day. And I will see you on the next stream. And thank you for joining me for the Motherland Fort Salem technically after show. Bye, guys.